I want you.
In this Love is Blind breakdown, you get how to prevent a painful breakup, how to give your text a light-hearted and laid-back vibe, and the big difference between I want you and I love you. And a whole stuff of other bunch, but let's dive straight into it with a scene, a very intense scene from Mark and Jessica.
You know, I ask you, you want to spend the rest of your life with me. Like, where's your mind at?
We've come like a really long way in a matter of days, not weeks. And like I can definitely see us walking out of here together. I really can. It's kind of weird to say that.
So what is Mark trying to do now? He's really trying to lock it in, so he escalates hardcore. By doing so, he wants to let her know like, hey, I really like you, I even love you. But what he's hoping to get out of this even more is some validation, some confirmation really. He wants to hear her say it back to him like, hey, I love you too. We are going to be together for the rest of our lives. He literally says to her,
you want to spend the rest of your life with me.
Holy, that is intense. Like it's maybe even the most intense thing you can say to another person, besides like, I want to have a child with you. So let's look at Jessica's reaction again.
I can definitely see us walking out of here together.
Whew. Okay, great for Mark. This is a positive reaction from Jessica, right? Or is it? Is this really a positive reaction? In fact, this is actually kinda bad news for Mark. Here are 3 signs that this isn't good news for Mark, but actually quite the opposite. 1. Before Jessica answers, she leaves some silence, and there's no intense happy emotions on her face. It's just like she's actually thinking, scratching her face a little bit in silence, thinking about things.
We've come like a really long way in a matter of days, not weeks. And like I can definitely see us walking out of here together.
So what is Jessica doing and why is she doing this? Well, she is actually de-escalating the situation because Mark was escalating too hard. More than Jessica was ready for. Second point, Jessica is really verbally toning down Mark's proposal. She's like, oh yeah, actually we did come a long way talking.
And like I can definitely see us walking out of here together.
And the third sign is, look at Jessica's body language. It's kind of semi-closed off, it's a little bit tense. She's leaning forward a little bit, hiding behind her glass. It's not really the body language you expect from someone who's super excited when someone just told them that they pretty much love them. Jessica's really sitting like this. That doesn't really look like a happy and relaxed vibe. Well, what Jessica is doing here is she is de-escalating the situation. Because when Mark went all in and he's putting all his cards on the table, he's escalating the pressure put on Jessica, and really it's more than she is ready for, so she is trying to de-escalate again, and in fact she's kind of turning down Mark. Now imagine instead of Mark saying like, hey, I can see the two of us being together forever, where is your mind at? Let's say instead Mark said, imagine you and me right now flying to Bali for 1 week together. Jessica probably would have loved that. She can see herself now leaving with him for 1 week, maybe 2, but at this point, the rest of their lives together, that was just too much pressure for her to handle. Unfortunately, Mark only noticed the slightly positive surface level of Jessica's reaction, and he's really happy, he's kicking back, he's like, woo! Kind of a weak woo, by the way. But he's feeling really happy about himself. Later in this video, we'll see if he stays happy. Now let's compare this exact scene to a very similar scene between Lauren and Cameron.
Cameron.
Yes.
I think I love you.
I love you.
Wow.
I love you.
I love you. Did we just say that?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't breathe.
So, we just saw a scene of Lauren and Cameron telling each other they love each other. Lauren said I love you to this guy, like pretty much out of the blue, just like Mark did to Jessica. How come then that Mark pretty much got shot down by Jessica and Lauren, she just gets away with it? Let's zoom in on a little detail, and I realize it's a detail, but there is quite a big difference. Mark is saying
I want you.
he used the literal words I want you, and Lauren is using the words
I love you.
plus Mark follows it up with hey, I can see the two of us being together for the rest of our lives, where's your head at? First of all, I want you comes more from a needy place, like he's saying I want you. Lauren says I love you. That's more of like a giving place, like hey, just throwing it out there, I love you. Mark is like, I need you. I'm exaggerating a little bit, of course. Imagine the hyena there from The Lion King, like, need you. But you know what I mean. And he follows it up with, like, where's your mind at? He's really asking for confirmation. You can sense the fear and the insecurity in Mark's mood. Whereas Lauren, she was just super chill. Did you realize how both Cameron and Lauren, they're really in the same vibe? They're super calm. They're talking mega slowly. They're really in this lovey, emotional time of their lives vibe. Not the case with Mark and Jessica at all. So while Cameron and Laura are in this lovey-dovey vibe, all Jessica really gave to Mark is she said a couple times like, oh, you're cute, but that's not the same thing. Okay, so should Mark just have said, I love you from a giving place instead of I want you, and then everything would have been fine? Like, no, that wouldn't have solved the whole situation. Mark just really had to realize where Jessica was at in terms of liking him back and not prematurely putting everything on the table. By the way, looking at Lauren and Cameron, never have seen each other completely in love after what you could say, I think they've been talking for like 4 days. Who's saying you can't form a deep connection over text? All these two did is 4 days of voice messaging. Now, before we go back to Mark and his maybe happy ending, let's look at something that Barnett is doing really well. What Barnett is actually doing is maybe one of the most overlooked parts of sending good texts.
Hey, B,
What's up, girl?
what you doing?
Just chilling. How you feeling?
I feel really happy.
I know that Barnett has gotten a lot of hate online when the show was just aired. I kind of followed up with all the memes and stuff, but at times like this, I honestly have to admit, I love Barnett. She's like, hey, what's up, B? And then he's like, oh, I'm just chilling. And then they show him and he's just like all along in the couch, chilling with his eyes closed, like super relaxed. And that's actually what I want to talk about. The fact that Barnett is always, I don't know if you remember last scene, laying out in the couch like that, super chill. This is giving him a real edge over the other guys. And the same goes for you when you are texting the person you like. Now I realize you might be like, okay, Louis, it's just texting, bro. You're taking this one step too far. But hear me out. Body language heavily influences your real life conversations, but also your text conversations. Imagine you're my crush. I have to send you a text. Ideally, it has a fun, lighthearted vibe, as always with texting. But let's say I have to come up with this text, and I do it from this position. Now imagine I would send you a text from this position. Which text do you think would be the best? Exactly. Body language directly influences your mindset and your mood. So back to Mark. He was in a pretty happy situation, right?
I can definitely see us walking out of here together. I really can. It's kind of weird to say that.
That's what I'm talking about. So what's up?
I'm sad right now
Why?
because I don't like this situation anymore.
What are you talking about?
I am going to be open and honest with you.
Okay.
You're 10 years younger than I am. I'm just trying to like explore everything because we only have like a limited amount of time and it's like the rest of our lives. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm gonna tell you straight up, like, if I'm not walking out of here with you, then I'll go my separate way and I'll go home. And that's fine. I'm just letting you know where I stand.
Whew. What now? She is destroying the whole thing. That kind of sucks. Well, getting dumped always sucks, but why, for Mark at this point, why does it suck so much? Now, I tried to come up with a clever analogy. You may already know it's not my strongest point, but let's go for it anyway. Let's say Jessica walks on the beach and she sees a random sandcastle built by some random guy. You're on the beach with her and she just kicks the sandcastle, pummels it, completely destroys it. Would you being Mark, would you care? Not really, I guess. It's not your sandcastle, obviously. Like, you'd kind of be surprised, like, why is she destroying a random sandcastle? That's not very nice. But it's not your sandcastle. You're not really invested into this artwork, so meh. Now, imagine that you built a sandcastle together with Jessica, both of you working together, the input is like 50-50, and then she just destroys the sandcastle. Would you care? Yeah, you would care, because it's your sandcastle, you built it together with her, and now she's destroying it. It would kind of hurt, but now imagine you build a sandcastle together with her, but you invested like 90% of all the work. You made every little detail, she just made like one tiny tower at the top, and then she just kicks right through it and destroys everything. Obviously, the last scenario would hurt way more than the others, because the more you invest into something, the more it hurts when it gets destroyed. Now, Mark at this point, he invested way more than Jessica into this relationship. Like, emotionally, he's all in, while she was just like kind of weighing her options and actually thinking about Barnett maybe even a little more. Now, I'm not saying you should not invest into people. That's kind of what dating is about. You open yourself up, you invest into the other person, and you build something together. But once you overinvest, which is exactly what Mark did, not only do you scare off the other person, it also hurts 10 times more when you break up or when things aren't really going the way you hoped. So what you want to do instead, and I know it's not always easy, is match the other person's investment. Like exactly what Cameron and Lauren are doing. They're like synchronized investment, growing together, whereas with Mark and Jessica's like giving a little bit and Mark's like whoop, really pretty much setting himself up for failure there. Like he's really over investing. Alrighty, that's it for this second Love is Blind breakdown video. I hope you learned something or enjoyed it. Like if you feel like liking, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.